Hello, welcome to Joyful Catholic Nurse. I'm pretty excited that when I started this video, look who showed up. He's on his way out. See ya, Leo Jr.
See ya.
All right, so today we're going to talk about herbs, and it's because I planted some herbs. I didn't really know what it was going to involve, but there's a lot of creativity in herbs. So let me share with you the ones that I grew. Oh, shoot. Where's my... I don't know where my oregano went. That's okay. I'll show you what it looks like after it dries for a couple days. So I have some oregano plants, and the oregano was growing really well. There started to get flowers on the end, and I just sort of know the basic life cycle of a plant, which is at some point it grows to maturity and it starts to flower, and I don't really know what happens to the oregano after that. Maybe it stays fine. Maybe it starts to lose its flavor a little bit. I did read that it's all edible, so that's fine, but I just thought, it's my time to jump in and start doing something. So I wonder if there's a patron saint of herbs or patron saint of cooking? We'll have to look into that. Okay, so with the oregano, it was growing like weeds almost in my garden, and I knew I had to do something. So I took some of the oregano, washed it, tied it together, and it's been hanging like this in my kitchen to dry. I haven't done anything with it yet. Isn't that nice? Once you dry it, it can stay like this until you figure out what to do with it. It was a little creative nudge that I had, and I don't exactly know where it's going. Maybe I'll crush it up and put it in a previous glass container that used to have another herb or spice in. So that's oregano. Then I did also plant some parsley. I have some friends who use fresh herbs all the time. Shout out Jen down there in Atlanta. And so sometimes I've had to reach out to them to say, how do I use this? Should I chop it up? Should I just leave it kind of whole and sitting in there? So my family's not a huge fan of parsley, so generally it's cooked. When I do use it fresh, I just use a little bit of it. So that's parsley. I also grew, what are these? Chives. And they're kind of, definitely a nice onion smell to them and taste to them. My hands are going to smell like onion now. And if you wanted to get fancy someday and use these to tie up your asparagus bundles or steamed carrots or something, that would be fun. Sometimes I chopped them and put them in salad or put them as a fresh condiment with any other kind of soup or beef, something that went well with onion flavor. And then finally, this is another onion. This is thyme. And I have been trying to use the thyme as much as possible. I'm going to see if I can bring this closer to you. They're tiny little leaves on a really beautiful plant. I'm thinking about putting this into my my flower beds. It's just, I don't know, it's a really pretty greenery. So it's my first season using it. I'll have to see how it grows in the garden to see if it's something that can go out into the flower beds. I do also hope to dry this. Haven't done it yet, but I have a ton of it. So same sort of thing. I'm just going to tie it up with some string, let it hang, let it dry, see what comes of it. As I say goodbye in this little video vignette, I just want to share that during the Great Pause, we should all try to go back to something that we didn't get a chance to do when we were being so crazy with life, when we were running from one event to the next, or when we were trying to keep up our social obligations, look into some of those things that you've been wanting to do around the house. Planting a special plant, herb, flower. I don't know, work on your creative side, because God gave you this beautiful mind to look at the goodness that He's brought into the world. And so look at those items of goodness that you want to bring more personally, more specially, more deeply into your everyday life. You could fail miserably at it. I know that I'm just trying to figure out these herbs, and sometimes I don't know what to do with them, and they're growing and I don't use them, but I'm trying. And I think that's a wonderful thing during the great pause that we should do. We should think about those good, natural, God-given talents that we were given. If that's growing things, cooking, reaching out to others. There's lots of my friends at the parish who are over 75, and it's a really good time for me to slow down and to talk with them. After Mass, calling them on the phone, texting them. A lot of friends I know over 75. I'm going to do a shout out to Lou, and a shout out to Tom, and a shout out to Joe, and a shout out to Paul. All of those wonderful friends of mine are over 75, and they all text, and they're all wonderful, wonderful Catholics. So they bring goodness into my life. So yeah, that's it. Look for those things to bring goodness into your life.